If you feel stressed almost every single day, I need you to know that's not normal. I know it's everywhere, but it's not natural for the human mind and body to live in chronic stress. And it's probably the reason your life feels harder than it has to. And it's definitely not necessary to reach your goals or create the life that you want. In fact, it's probably creating the life that you don't want. If you're anything like me, you don't want to feel stressed all the time. You want to feel good, energized, and calm inside. So if you're struggling with high levels of stress, you can change it. I want you to know that. I almost never feel stressed anymore. And it's because I made a few key changes in how I think and how I manage my environment. If you take action on what we're going to talk about in this video, you'll start to feel more energized and calmer inside too. So you can finally enjoy your life instead of just trying to survive it. Welcome to the Input Audit. So this is you. And I know what you're thinking, I should clearly be an artist, but that's not what we're here to talk about today, so focus. These arrows represent the inputs your brain is bombarded with every single day. Some of these inputs are adding stress into your life and draining you, and others are giving you more energy and peace. The key is to notice which ones are which, and then consciously choose more of the ones that you want and less of the ones that you don't want. Sounds simple, right? Well, it is and it isn't at the same time. Stressful input 1, the news. Look, fear sells. Media companies know that if they can scare you, you'll read their stuff. So they deliberately design headlines that trigger stress and anxiety. So the other morning, I was on the subway listening to an audiobook that made me smile and even laugh out loud. And then I looked over to the guy next to me and I saw he was scrolling through news sites. Headline after headline was about war, attacks, disaster, just peeking at those topics that covered the whole page he was scrolling through is enough to make you feel like the world is a terrible place and everything is going to shit town. And this thought popped into my mind. We're sitting in the same subway, but we're living in completely different worlds. My inputs were filling me with energy and laughter, and his was likely filling him with worry and heaviness and stress. And for a lot of people, it doesn't stop there. That's just the beginning of their day. Then they go straight into stressful emails and then into a conversation with a colleague who's complaining or panicking about deadlines. Input after input, just designed to increase your stress. Yet we wonder why our lives don't feel more peaceful. Now, maybe you want to stay informed about what's going on in the world, and that's fine. But do you really need to check the news several times a day? Do you even need to read it every day? Should you start your day reading or listening to things that trigger your stress response? Well, if you want to feel calmer inside, then probably not. I hardly ever read the news, and I still know what's happening through podcasts, social media, or just talking to people. It's not like you're completely in the dark if you don't stay constantly updated. Stressful input 2, social media. Social media works the same way. Doom scrolling or diving into negative comments. How does it actually make you feel? Anxious? Happy? Energized? Angry, drained, irritated? I know for me, if I read the comments section under a news article or social media post, especially if it's one designed to polarize, I often end up feeling sad about humanity. People think it's okay to attack others just because they disagree. To me, emotional maturity means being able to see different perspectives and disagree without being disrespectful or putting other people down. And when I read those kinds of comments, it doesn't lift me up. It just makes me annoyed that people think it's okay to spread negativity and hate in the world. So I stay away from that. Instead, I carefully design my environment, including my social media feeds. Algorithms are simple. What you search for and engage with is what you'll see more of. That becomes your online life. So I unfollow anything that spreads negativity, fear, or polarization, even if it's someone I know personally. And I follow accounts that inspire me, help me to grow, show people doing good in the world, and people who are able to speak about serious or uncomfortable matters in a way that shows different perspectives or rational reasons for their own perspectives without spreading a bunch of negativity into the world. That completely shifts my experience on social media, because when I open Instagram or YouTube, I feel inspired and positive about people. And I get automatic inputs from topics that help me become a better human. That's how you use social media as a tool to add value into your life instead of just a bunch of stress. Stressful input 3, people. And of course, it's not just online. People's outputs are also your inputs. If you're surrounded by people who complain, blame, gossip, or focus on what's missing, that shapes your worldview too. Even if you don't feel stressed in the moment in those conversations, they're steering your focus in a negative direction. Over time, that builds more stress. But then there are the people that are completely opposite. You know the ones. Every time you see them, you feel this boost of energy. They radiate positivity, and being around them actually lifts you up. You feel yourself becoming a better person and more energized when you're around them. Now, that's the kind of energy you want more of in your life. Stressful input 4, notifications. Another input that often increases stress in people's lives without them even knowing it is notifications. Every time your phone buzzes, your brain thinks something urgent is happening. So you live in this constant state of alertness. And if your brain thinks everything's urgent, how can you ever feel completely calm? You won't. But there's a simple fix for this. Turn off notifications. If you want to do a good job at work, you'll check your email anyway. You don't need to know the second one comes in. You don't need to reply to every message instantly. Look, if everything's urgent, then nothing is truly urgent. You're giving everything an equal level of importance. And when you're always available and switching between tasks all the time, it depletes you cognitively. And you never get the time or focus for deep work, not to mention how destructive it is for your relationships when you're not able to stay present with someone in the moment. Stressful input 5, unfinished tasks. If you're like me, sometimes you procrastinate on things that you know you need to do. It can be a little thing like paying a bill, a bigger project, or an uncomfortable conversation. The thing is, even though you get immediate relief when you procrastinate on something, it's constantly hanging over your head. This adds more stress into your life. But many of these tasks can be eliminated, at least for now. You just decide that it's not that important and you're not gonna do it. And if you can't eliminate it, set a date and get it done. The thought of doing it might stress you out, but the more you kick that can down the road, the more you're adding to your total stress load in life. Now we've talked about 5 things that are seriously adding stress to your life that you can do something about. So let's look at your input audit and see what we can do. So this is you with too much stress in your life. These thick arrows are the inputs that are causing you stress, and the thin ones are the inputs that are giving you energy. So what can we do? Okay, let's see. If we once a day watch the news, or more seldom than we're doing, then we eliminate this stressful input and this stressful input, this one and this one. Then we reduce contact time with that person that's always complaining or blaming someone for something. So less stressful inputs here, here, and here. Then there's that project that you always tell yourself that you have to do, but when you think about it, it's not really that important for you. So we'll eliminate that stressor as well. See how this works? Then we go into our social media feed and we make sure our algorithms are feeding us with stuff that give us energy and not steal our energy. So we take away the person we're following that always puts out posts that are polarizing with loads of negative comments in between, several of those. Then we also take away the posts that are just making us feel bad or feel like we're not enough or not doing enough. So we're reducing all of these stressful inputs. And then of course there are going to be some inputs that do elevate stress in your life, but that you have to do or that you want to do because it's driving you forward to something. But look at this. Now you have freed up all of this space by removing so many of those stressful inputs. So now you have space to bring in some of the positive inputs that energize you. So that friend that always makes you laugh, or posts and stuff on social media that helps you grow, or something that makes you laugh, or that hobby that you really want to do because you love doing it but you never set aside the time. All of these things start to bring you more energy back into your life. And then suddenly you've completely changed your whole world. You've eliminated so much stress, but you've also brought in so many things that give you energy. And here's what happens when you do that. You feel less stressed, you feel calmer, and you enjoy your life more. So here's the big takeaway. Stress isn't just in your head, it's in your inputs. Your inputs shape your focus. Your focus shapes your emotions, and your emotions shape the quality of your life. If you're tired of feeling stressed, start by changing what you're feeding your mind every day. And this starts with an input audit, where you evaluate the inputs you're allowing into your day. Which are causing you stress and which are energizing you. Then choose which ones you can eliminate or reduce, and which ones you need to bring more of into your life. Then choose one and work on it. But eliminating stressful inputs is only half the battle. A lot of stress also comes from the way that you think. So if you want to learn how to reprogram your mind so you can feel calmer and more peaceful inside, watch this video next about how to change how you think so that it's not your thoughts that are stressing you out.